Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Peter. In this video, we're going to be discussing writing as pertains to your Ielts exam. Here, we're going to be discussing task 2. Task 2 requires you to write 250 words in 40 minutes. There are two possible types of questions when it comes to task 2. An opinion-based question where you're supposed to state your opinion about a particular idea or to discuss viewpoints. Discuss for a particular idea or against a particular idea, or to discuss both for and against, and then give a summary or something like that. Now, generally for writing, you have to have, for task 2, you need to have a plot in your head before you launch into the essays. 250 words, if you're an experienced writer, might not be so many words, but 250 words for the average writer is actually quite much. So you have to have a plan of how you want your essay to go. It's important to be fast, but have a plan before you launch into your essay and decide where you want to go. So if they ask you to give an opinion, are you for or against? Decide which point where you're going to have more points to write before you launch into your essay. Once again, it's not about accuracy of the ideas that you're passing. It's just about if it's logical, if it follows, and if you can actually defend your point and do it in English properly. That is more important in the exam rather than the idea that you're actually communicating. Of course, as I said earlier, be fast. It's important that you have someone else go through your essay because it's likely that you're not going to see your own mistakes. Let's get to paper so we can actually take a very good look on task 2 and how you can actually structure your essay to get a band 8 or a band 9. Alright guys, let's get into task 2. Now, as I said earlier, task 2 in Ielts, well, let's look at the basics again. Task 2 makes up 66% of your mark in the writing component. So this is where you should focus all your attention, at least the most of your attention. You're supposed to write in 40 minutes 250 words. At least 250 words. It's important that you have this at the back of your mind when you start. So 40 minutes, 250 words, 66% of your mark, big deal. So what is the structure? Now, but before we talk about structure, I want us to look at boosters and then warnings. Now, what are the boosters I want you to watch out for? Now, linking words. What are linking words? We mentioned them before. Words like furthermore, more so, conversely, in addition, whereas. So those are linking words. I want you to pay attention to those kind of things. Another important type of boosters you should pay attention to when it comes to task 2 is compound sentences. Compound sentences. So what's a compound sentence? A simple sentence is, I'm writing this, I'm teaching with blue pen, I am also teaching with red pen. Now, a compound, those are two simple sentences. A compound sentence would be like, Dr. Peter is an Ielts tutor who teaches with black pen, blue pen, and as well as red pen. Now, those are as well as, you've already brought one, linking word to make a compound sentence to capture all I'm doing. So if you put compound sentences into your writing, you would actually have, you'd have more marks. The warnings are write up to 250 words, so word count. And I don't know how you do word counts for yourself, but the normal way, like the usual way people do word counts, is you count the words in a full line or 2 full lines and you take the average. So if you write 10 words per line, which is what people with small handwriting actually averagely write. If you write 10 words per line, that means you need to write 25 lines. So make sure you do your word count. All right. Now, watch out for your tenses. Watch out for tenses. Watch out for shorthand. We chat a lot on social media, so most people have sort of lost track of their spellings and then of full words. So watch out for shorthand, as well as your tenses. Watch out for spelling. All right, so these are warnings you should pay attention to. Now, to get the structure, all right, which is probably the meat, the structure, which is actually the meat of what this lesson is all about, we have to look at the typical question. Now, I'm not going to write the details of the question, all right. I'll show you the question and then we're going to develop it as we go together. So this question is a very typical IELTS question. It's an opinion-based question. It goes like, computers are now the basis of the modern world. They should therefore be introduced into classroom and their programs used for direct teaching purposes. However, dependence on computers in teaching may carry a certain degree of risk to students. So discuss both sides and give your opinion. Now, my opinion to this, all right, that's the question. My opinion, I'm telling you my opinion straight, is I believe computers should be introduced into the classroom. So that's the summary. That's my last paragraph. I already made up my mind for my last paragraph. Now, as you know, every essay in English language should have what? An introduction. Now, some people call this introduction the background statement. All right, the background statement. Now, it should already also have paragraphs, or what they call the body. And then, so let's say the body. And here, let me say 3 paragraphs or 2, depending on the amount of paragraphs you can generate from the question. And then finally, a conclusion. The conclusion, now I've made up my mind that computers should be in classroom. So that's what, I mean, if you have a contrary opinion, that's good and that's fine. But my opinion is that it should be introduced to classroom, all right? And I'm very, very convinced about what I want to write now. Okay, so what's my background statement? Over the years, over the past 50 years, we've seen the evolution of computers. So that's my background statement. All right, so that's where I'm starting from. My background statement is over the past 50 years, we've seen an evolution in computers, in technology, and in teaching generally. Computers are a helpful tool that ease life processes. In this essay, I'm going to argue why computers should be. In this essay, I'm going to argue the advantages and disadvantages of having computers in classroom and why I think computers should nonetheless be introduced to students in classrooms. Firstly, so now that is my background statement. I hope you get the idea of background statement. It's sort of indirect, but it's, sets the tone for the essay you want to write. So that's my background statement. Now, when you write the body of the essay, all right, the body of the essay, and this is very key. This is very key. Use what we call topic sentences. All right, use what we call topic sentences. Now, I've already set the pace that computers are easing the processes of life, all right? And then in this essay, I'm going to argue why they should be introduced. I'll argue the pros and the cons, all right? So now, the sentence is going to go like this. Firstly, all right? Sorry about this. So firstly, ease of learning. Okay? Now, students no longer have to copy notes and students no longer have to copy bulky, endless notes. They can now have accurate notes from their teachers sent to their computers through their emails and through group messages and have accurate information while easily. Also, teachers can now grade exams to a large amount of students easily through computer-based tests. Now, obviously, I'm stating the advantages of why computers should be introduced now. And I can go on. So, now, ease of learning is my topic sentence, and then I can, go on further to develop that. Now, if I was going to, firstly, I've made a topic sentence. Now, if I was going to contrast all this now, if I wanted to go to the disadvantage, I'll start this line, this second paragraph now with, this word, conversely. Computers also are the hub of distractions, such as, so conversely, distractions, right? Computers are the hub of distractions, such as games, gambling, sports, and entertainment of every other form. Computers also give access to students who are underage, unlimited, unrestricted access to the internet. This can include pornographic sites, adult content, and violence and crime of every sort. And this can be a distraction to students. This can also lead to poor grades, poor performance, and lack of attention to schoolwork. Now, I've given my first off, I told you I've given the point, ease of learning. I've contrasted with distractions. Now, the last 2 paragraphs, I can just argue my point. I can take up, CBTs and explain them more. I can take up ease of learning and ease of notes, ease of assignment submission. I can, further on develop my points. But these 2 paragraphs will give me opening them with topic sentences, right? Will give me the leverage to actually go on and on to develop this paragraph. Now, finally, I'll end my essay with finally. Even though computers pose a risk to students, the advantages of ease of learning, ease of teaching, as well as access to information far outweighs the distractions posed by computers, and as such computers should be introduced as early as possible in the education and the learning process of students in classroom. So now I have given a background statement. I have two solid paragraphs. I have a concluding paragraph to back up my essay. And if I do my word count using 10 words per line, I definitely would have written up to 25 lines. Now, in all my writing, I could have slipped in one of these paragraphs, or in between paragraph 2 and my conclusion, I can slip in an example, a practical example from one of my experiences, just to buttress the whole point, have my word count, and then be able to express myself clearly. So in summary, once again, task 2 is a major part of your writing. 66% of your mark, 40 minutes, 250 words. The structure should have an opening or a background statement, the body, which will compose of paragraphs as much as you can generate it, and finally a conclusion which further buttresses the point you have been trying to make. Don't forget to make your word count. Watch out for your tenses, watch out for shorthand and spelling errors, and I think with this you should be good to go for your task. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you in the next video.